questions, to ask why, to ask where. Show me this in the Scriptures. When it comes to the teachers and the preachers and the evangelists and everybody that's out there, when they just simply want you to swallow what it is they're feeding, you're actually encouraging people to take a Bible in their hand, slide it across the table, and say, show me that in the Scriptures. Show me that right here in this English Bible here, this 1611 King James. Show me that. And that's dangerous, and it is. It's a very, very dangerous thing to people who want power, who want control. I think it's only fair that as the government broadens its powers to know what the American people are doing, I think it's only fair that the government open up all their offices and all their communiques and all their different things like that. It was discovered last week or a couple weeks ago that high-level people in the Obama administration actually don't have these regular government email addresses. They have top-secret, private, secured emails so that nobody can get to them but them. So I think it's only fair that if the government has the ability, the growing ability, to monitor us and to keep track of us, I think it's only fair that we have the same ability. I think we ought to go in to the NSA and say, can I sit down on one of your computers? I just want to look around. I just want to see what you got. To the CIA, the FBI, can we look here? What's behind that door over there? Well, I'm sorry, you can't go in that door. There's secret things in there. Well, how do you feel about that? My phone call to my wife is secret. You should know what I'm saying to my wife. That's none of your business. Let's see here. There's another article from Forbes. NSA's Verizon spying order specifically targeted Americans, not foreigners. The National Insecurity Agency has long justified its spying powers by arguing that its charter allows surveillance on those outside the United States, while avoiding intrusions into the private communications of American citizens. But the latest revelation of the extent of the NSA's surveillance shows that it has focused specifically on Americans to the degree that its data collection has in at least one major spying incident explicitly excluded those outside the United States. In a top-secret order, they're just going back over the information. The FBI on the NSA's behalf demanded that Verizon turn over all metadata for phone records originating in the United States for the 3 months beginning in late April and ending in the 19th of July. That metadata includes all so-called non-content data for millions of American customers' phone calls, such as the subscriber data, recipients, locations, times, and durations of every call made during this. So here's what you got. You got the person who made the phone call, who they made the phone call to, and because now most cell phones are smartphones, they have location data, so that at the time you make a phone call, there's a record of where exactly you were standing when you made that phone call. If you were 3 feet away from a light switch, now the government knows it. And how long, and different things like that of every call made specifically to American citizens. Here is an article from CBS, D.C. Department of Homeland Security laptops. Phones can be searched based on hunches. U.S. border agents should continue to be allowed to search a traveler's laptop, cell phone, or other electronic device and keep copies of any data on them based on no more than a hunch. That's a hunch. I'm ugly. According to an internal Homeland Security Department study, it contends limiting such searches would prevent the U.S. from detecting child pornographers or terrorists and expose the government to lawsuits. 23-page report obtained by the Associated Press and the American Civil Liberties Union provides a rare glimpse of the Obama administration's thinking on the long-standing but controversial practice of border agents and immigration officers searching, and in some cases holding for weeks or months, the digital devices of anyone trying to enter the United States of America. What rights? What rights do you have? You simply moved from one location to another, and now the government, which probably in the next 5 years, when you actually turn left in your car, the government's going to tax it. But anyway, just by merit of you moving your body and transporting yourself and your cell phone or your iPad or whatever it is from one location to another, the government can look at you and say, I bet they're up to something. I bet they're up to something. And grab your stuff. Grab your cell phone, grab your laptop or whatever it is, flash drives you're carrying around with you. Grab it, keep it. No warrant. No judicial oversight. No judge. No permission other than we want it. We want to look into your life. We want to peer into what you have. The Bill of Rights specifically said that we have a right to be secure in our person, our papers, and our effects. Everything that belongs to us, we have an absolute right to keep secure. Here is another article. These are all on Drudgeport today. Now FBI wants backdoor to all software. The FBI is unhappy that there are communications technologies that it cannot intercept and wants to require that software makers and communications companies create a backdoor so they can listen in when they desire. But a team of technology experts warns the move would hand over to the nation's enemies abilities that they are not capable of developing for themselves. You see, it won't work. There was, back in the 90s, I remember this stuck out in my mind because that was in the time when I was a house painter, and we had lots and lots of buckets, big 5-gallon buckets for paint, 5-gallon buckets for joint compound, and you name it. We had 5-gallon buckets everywhere. There was a congressional committee that was meeting on behalf of someone in the EPA or someone in some government hut somewhere that was trying to petition Congress to allow them to enforce an idea that every manufacturer of a bucket in the United States of America deliberately include a way that that bucket would leak by itself. They said, because we heard that there was a child that fell over in a half bucket of water of paint and drowned, and so we want to protect everybody. And the leaders of the industry, the paint industry, the pickle industry, the bucket manufacturers of America got together and they said, they told Congress, we cannot conceive in our mind of any practical use for a bucket that leaks. Can't do it. And so the FBI now wants to get into everybody. They want every piece of software written to have a backdoor that allows the FBI in. And the industry is telling them, you don't understand what you're doing. Our enemies don't right now have the ability to ransack the computer networks of America. If you do this, that's because if one person can go in the back door, they'll all get in the back door somehow, some way. But this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we're dealing with in this country. Here's another article. CIA chief will spy on you through your dishwasher. More and more personal household devices are connecting to the internet. From your television to your car navigation systems to your light switches, CIA Director David Petraeus cannot wait to spy on you through them. Earlier this month, Petraeus mused about the emergence of an Internet of Things, that is, wired devices, at a summit for NQTel, the CIA's venture capital firm. Think about that. Transformational is an overused word, but I do believe it properly applies to these technologies, Petraeus enthused, particularly to their effect on clandestine tradecraft. Now, I want you to stop right here. I want you to think about this. How many of you have ever gone into Walmart, McDonald's, Target, any kind of convenience store, any kind of place that has a public bathroom? And in the old days, back before all the technology, we had to encumber ourselves and go through the arduous task of, when we were done, pushing the flush button. Oh, we got so tired of that. And so now what do we have? We walk up to a toilet, and it's watching us. The toilet is watching us. And when we are done, the toilet knows that we are done. And it flushes for us because we can't do it for ourselves. Now, we have 2 boys in our house, and my wife has altered their activity, altered their character, by making in no uncertain terms that when any of the male people in her house approach a toilet, when we're done, that thing gets flushed. Doesn't matter. It gets flushed. So I don't need that at my house. I have a sweetie pie. But I want you to think about this. This is a smart device that is watching you go to the bathroom. And we're slowly but surely, we're turning into the Jetsons is what we're doing. We're enabling our houses through the refrigerator, through the heating and ventilation and air conditioning unit, through the security cameras that you might have in your home, through your television set, through your smartphone device. This phone, it's a Samsung, it's a tablet's what it is, but it's a phone. This phone has, see that light going off there? Beep, beep. Has the ability to know when I'm looking at it or not. This is an Android phone, and it has a little thing on here built into the Android operating system, which is basically Linux that Google took over. And it has a little setting on here that says, if you want, we can put your phone, shut the screen off when you're not looking at it, which means that this phone watches me. If you have an iPhone and you use Siri, you can activate Siri. If your phone is looking like this and there's a blank screen, you can actually activate Siri by simply putting it up to your ear. The phone knows that you're going to activate Siri. And what is Siri? Siri is you telling the phone what you want to do, which I don't know if you understand this or not, but your voice commands are not they're not processed by your phone. They're actually transmitted through the network into a main processor at Apple, and Apple then sends the response back to your phone. And Apple has admitted that they're keeping track of everything that you told Siri to do. So it just goes on and on and on and on. The surveillance that we are inviting ourselves into. Now you have choices. You can either go off the grid, and some people are doing it. They go off the grid, which if you go off the grid, you won't be able to watch Pastor Mike online. You won't be able to, but we'll send it to you in the mail. Okay, we'll just send it to you. Which I don't know if that's monitored or not, but I'm sure it is. Or you can take steps to protect yourself. I mentioned encrypting your phone. Encrypting, I would at least encrypt